Hey gang, Will here from the Ashland Fly Shop, back with a fishing report for you for the 20th of May, 2020 for the Northern California, Southern Oregon region. Lots to talk about, lots of things happening out there, so away we go. All right, so let's hop into the Rogue River, our backyard playground here in Southern Oregon. Lots of stuff to talk about here with the opening of trout season. Salmon flies are on the move. It's looking great out there. It's setting up really nice. Flows have come down to 1,700 out of the dam, down from about 22 or 23. So we're gonna have great fishing, wading flows for that section, the Holy Water, as well as the main stem river. So we're really stoked to see that. We've had a couple of our guides out there on the upper stretch just poking around and checking it out in advance of the season. Lots of bugs out, lots of bugs cruising around on the bushes and stuff, and definitely seeing some splashy rises. So everyone who's got guide days with us starting tomorrow, the 22nd of 22nd Friday, is in for it, as well as anyone just putting in and fishing. It should be game on, which it typically is from the word go. So we're excited to see that. As you know, the Holy Water is a little bit later, so we've had some decent fishing up there with people flopping salmon flies around and just, you know, getting those kind of refusals and false strikes and stuff. But it'll start getting hot and heavy pretty soon as the bugs, you know, work their way up the river. So so a lot of good fishing, very good conditions out there for the salmon fly hatch. So let's talk a little bit about the flies that we like. Flies, king of them all, again, chubby Chernobyl. Can't go up there without it. Phenomenal fly. We like it in gold and we like it in the Terra Narcis color. Another favorite is the Rogue Foam Stone, always a classic. Ken Morish, local tires, has a couple great patterns out there, the Still Stone and the Fluttering Stone. These are both phenomenal patterns that we find success with during the salmon fly hatch, and I would say those three patterns are must-haves. So so you definitely want to have those. You want to have them. You got to have them. Lastly, a mistake we see a lot of people making fishing salmon flies is the size of their leaders and tippet. We really encourage you to start with either 2X 10-pound or 3X 8-pound. A lot of folks run out there with 5X and get broken off like crazy. So keep that in mind. You want to use a little bit heavier leader because these fish really smack them, and even a smaller fish can break 5X. So 2X or 3X. Another river we watch closely here is the Kalamath River, the Rogue sister river to the south in Northern California below Iron Gate Dam. And that is looking really good for the salmon fly hatch. Two flows are at about this, a little bit lower than we're seeing out of the Rogue at about 1,200 on the upper Klamath. And the stonefly hatch down there is been a little bit odd the last few years as far as when it comes off. I feel like it doesn't come off quite like clockwork on the, as you see on the upper Rogue. So I would look for salmon flies and stone flies there. Really good golden stone hatch there. More like second week of June through the end of June. You got to watch the water temps a bit as we get closer to the end of June, depending on the weather. But that can be a really good time to do that Iron Gate float, and there can be some really nice surprising fish in there. So that's one to really look at as well. The Kalamath River in Northern California. Flies for the Klamath, pretty much the same as the upper Rogue. We don't fish quite as many large salmon flies, but you do want to have them. I think it's just kind of chubby Chernobyls all day down there. They don't see the pressure that we see up on the Rogue most days, so they'll really respond to that fly. So chubby Chernobyl, gold body in 6 or 8 be a really good fly. A few more 8s, you might fish more 8s down there than you would on the upper Rogue, 8s or 10s. But those flies should produce really well for you down there. Moving on to Northern California, what can I say? It's just game on. It's just anywhere you turn. All the reports and the feedback we've been getting from our friends down there is just lots of really good fishing. The upper Sac the lower Sacramento is fishing really well. I've seen some absolutely phenomenal fish come out of the lower Sac in the last couple weeks. Upper Sacramento, you're still seeing higher flows down by Delta, but I've had good reports of people fishing further upstream, and the flows have been high, but not unreasonable to fish. We did just get a whole bunch of rain, so it might have pumped the flows up a bit around Dunsmuir and below, but I think they're going to come back down real quick. So flows should be very fishable in that whole upper section of the Upper Sacramento, the Cantera, all down through Dunsmuir and below. I would consider that very, very good fishing down there. Now, McLeod looks great as well, 220 coming out of the dam or something, so it's looking fantastic. I really can't tell you exactly what's happening with the roads. I've talked to people who have fished Audina and the Conservancy, so even if it is a little blocked, seems like people are getting down there. I know Ash Camp is still blocked, but people are parking and walking in, so expect maybe some limitations there to what you're used to, but man, it's just game on fishing down there. Pitt River, I had a couple great reports from there in the last week. So, and this is what we talk about for spring in Northern California. This kind of opener through like the first part of July is just really when you want to be there. So Hat Creek, Fall River, same story. That whole ring, Mount Shasta ring of rivers is fishing really, really well down through there. Flies for the region, it's a little tricky. They're all a little bit different. As you know, Upper Sacramento, Pitt, and McLeod, real nymphy rivers. You really want to have nymphs. I really like micro mayflies, dark lords, smaller flies, 16s, 18s tend to produce really well that are hung off of golden stone, larger golden stone imitations, dark stone imitations, or even just big hare's ear buggy imitations. That stuff can work really well, either fished Euro style or with an indicator. That's awesome for the Upper Sac. Upper Sac is going to be mayflies as well as a McLeod. McLeod will be mayflies too. You want to have a mix of mayflies in your bag for what could come off, and you're talking about early bluing olives, pale morning duns, things like that. And you want to have those in 14s, 16s, and 18s, I think, for those rivers. There can be some big mayflies as well on the McLeod, some drakes and stuff like that. Kind of sporadic, but I would look for those have some of those larger drakes. I've been really surprised by a hatch down there before and had great fishing. Stoneflies on the McLeod, I remember that as being later, again, kind of like the Kalamath, mid-June in there, maybe a little bit earlier, lower down, but you definitely want to have some golden stones, some chubby Chernobyls and stuff in your box. For the McLeod. Upper Sacramento, stoneflies all over the map. Have a few chubbies. Good luck hitting it. The Pitt is a nymph freak out, so just have a nice selection of standard attractor nymphs, and you should do really well down there. Hat Creek, Fall River, mayflies, nymphs. Just go fishing. Just go down there and go fishing. It should be really good. Lastly, I do want to mention Sugar Creek Ranch, the private ponds that we book down in Northern California in cooperation with the Fly Shop. It's been quite good. If you're looking for an alternative, you're concerned about social distancing and stuff in your favorite stretch of river, it's a really great alternative down there. We've booked several people in the last week or so, and the fishing's been quite good, and I expect it to just continue to be good. So that walk-on at Sugar Creek Ranch in Northern California is a really, really nice option, and we're happy to talk to you about that. That is what we're seeing in the area for heading into the last part of May, the peak time of trout season in Northern California, Southern Oregon. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much, and we will see you back here next time. Always feel free to call us. Happy to update you with any details. Ashland Fly Shop, signing off.